We all know that some beauty pageant contestants have had enhancement done to their bodies to become even more shapely. But probably no one has had as much work done as Jenna Talackova. Born a boy, the 23-year-old wanted to enter the Miss Universe Canada pageant, but the contest officials, learning that she was transgender, tried to disqualify her because they said she was not a naturally born woman. In the center of headlines this week, Jenna is not just a woman with a history, she is a woman who is making history. So who is Jenna, and will she be able to compete? She sat down with us yesterday alongside her mother for her very first television interview. Every year, hundreds of thousands of beauty pageants are staged around the world. Millions parade and compete to be crowned the most beautiful woman.
I regard myself as a woman with a history.
But when 6'1" Canadian Jenna Talackova entered this year's Miss Universe pageant, the biggest and grandest of them all, she set off a firestorm of controversy. It's hard to know, but Talackova may be the first transgender woman to try to compete in a traditional beauty pageant, an attempt bold, brash, and pushing boundaries, but one that raises fundamental questions. What is a woman? And do you have to be born female to be female? You were born a boy. What was your name as a boy?
My name was Walter.
Jenna, this is you?
Yeah, this is me at my Nana's house with my dad.
You were a very cute little boy, Jenna. Does anyone still call you Walter?
Nobody calls me Walter.
Myrtle Perry is Jenna's mother. You had 4 boys. Now you have 3 sons and a daughter.
Yes, I do. I got the daughter.
Jenna, when did you first know that you were different?
I just always knew that I was not what they were saying. It wasn't right. I thought that I was in the wrong body. I was really confused because they kept saying I was a boy, and I just never felt that way. I was always attracted to everything feminine.
Jenna, still Walter, says by 8th grade her hair was long and her clothes were feminine. Did you use the boys' bathroom or the girls' bathroom?
I used the girls' bathroom in high school. They were very supportive of my school.
But not necessarily the other students.
You hear stories of kids being beaten up, lured into things and stuff. So that was really, a lot of these things went through my mind.
Were you ever beaten?
No, I was never beaten.
It was just name calling?
Just, name calling. It's used a lot, tranny.
Jenna, at what age did you physically start to transition to being a female?
14. Well, I went to the doctor and I just let them know this is how I feel, this is what it is, and I need to start hormones as soon as possible. I took estrogen, which helped me develop my own breast and keep my skin as it was.
After she'd had years of psychological therapy, doctors gave Jenna, now 19, what she dreamed of, letters stating that she qualified for sex reassignment surgery, which the Canadian health system paid for.
The surgery is pretty intense.
I'm going to have to ask you some tough questions that people really want to know. Part of the sex surgery is that the skin of the penis is used to create what appears to be a vagina. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Must have been terribly painful.
It was terribly painful, but seeing something on your body for that long and not being able to look at myself in the mirror because I couldn't stand seeing the other part, it was actually very rewarding too.
So if I saw you undressed, you would look like a woman to me, totally, yes?
Yes.
She has a vagina. It looks like a woman.
Did you also have breast implants?
I have.
Did you have to change your voice?
I had to have the Adam's apple removed, and I did a lot of vocal training. Mm-hmm. Starting the estrogen so young, it really helped with my voice.
Mm-hmm. When did you change your name from Walter to Jenna, and why Jenna?
I helped with that.
Okay,
remember we were going through names, and then I said, Jenna. I said, that sounds so you.
Yeah.
There was no more Walter. Next, Jenna set out to make her new gender legal, presenting letters from her doctors that allowed her to change her Canadian driver's license, passport, even her birth certificate, from male to female. Are you attracted to men or to women?
I'm attracted to men. I have a partner.
You have a boyfriend who knows that you are transgender?
Yes, he's very supportive. Same age as me. Just an amazing man.
Did you meet him before or after your surgery?
After my surgery.
With her new body, Jenna entered 2 beauty pageants, one in Thailand for transgenders, and then she went mainstream, taking the big leap into the Miss Universe contest against her mother's wishes.
Well, I didn't like it.
Because you knew there might be some trouble.
Even in Thailand, it was just her coming into the limelight, and I just wasn't really comfortable with that.
Jenna was chosen to be one of more than 60 beauties to compete for the Miss Universe Canada crown. But before she could put on her evening gown and bikini, she was outed on the internet as transgender. Pageant officials then disqualified Jenna because they said she was not, quote, a naturally born female. And their decision created a torrent of headlines around the world.
Jenna Talackova is a dude.
She was born a male.
Now to the controversy heating up the international beauty pageant world.
Jenna, if you knew there was going to be this much controversy, would you have entered?
I didn't know there would be this much controversy. I was just entering because, you know, I wanted to represent Canada. I think I'm a beautiful woman inside and out, and I think I would have done the job.
It wasn't long before Gloria Allred, the famous lawyer and women's rights advocate, came to Jenna's side. Gloria, was Jenna under any legal obligation to say that she was transgender?
None whatsoever. She is legally a female. She is recognized in Canada as a female. She is recognized as female on her driver's license, on her passport, and on her birth certificate. And she is female.
Gloria, you take on a lot of important cases. Why did you take this case?
Because what happened to Jenna is very, very important. The Miss Universe competition, Barbra, had the rule that a contestant had to be a naturally born female. That is a rule that is blatantly discriminatory. And she has been standing up against it because she doesn't want what happened to her to have to be endured by anyone else.
Only one woman in the world will win the experience of a lifetime.
The Miss Universe pageant is owned by Donald Trump. And when Jenna's story went viral, saying that she couldn't compete because she wasn't a naturally born woman, 2 media pros like Allred and Trump couldn't help throwing mud at each other. She at a press conference.
She did not ask Mr. Trump to prove that he is a naturally born man, or to see the photos of his birth, to view his anatomy, to prove that he was male.
The same day, Trump phoned TMZ.
So joining us on the line right now, Donald Trump. Donald, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hello, Harvey. I think Gloria would be very, very, very impressed with me. I really do.
The attacks stem from a statement released by Trump's pageant officials, saying that Jenna could compete, but only if she met, quote, the standards established by other international competitions.
What other international competitions is he talking about? This is extremely ambiguous. Why doesn't he stop being wishy-washy and just say clearly, unequivocally, Jenna can compete and the rule is gone?
And so we asked Donald Trump.
We looked at the laws of Canada and we looked at the laws of the United States, and every country is different, but it was obvious to us that she was entitled to compete.
If Jenna should win in Canada in that pageant, can she compete in the World Miss Universe pageant?
Yes.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
So we thought everything was hunky-dory, but Donald, being Donald, had his own take.
I looked at her name and somebody brought this up to me. Genital. those are the first letters of her name, and it's genital. And I'm saying to myself, that's strange. Could there be an ulterior motive?
I think that her mother has explained why she took the name. And with all due respect to Mr. Trump, he really needs to stop being focused on genitals, his or anyone else's. This world does not revolve around his penis or anyone else's genitalia. Whether a person is a woman is not simply defined by her genitalia.
But all sparring aside, Donald Trump did change the pageant rules so that transgender women can compete. Your entering the pageant was because you were beautiful and wanted to win a contest, or because you were trying to make a statement?
Because I'm a woman, and I feel like the universe, the creator, just put me in this position as an advocate. If it's helping anybody else, my story and my actions, then I feel great about it.
We don't know how the other pageant contestants feel about gender because the pageant doesn't take place until May 19th. But an unofficial poll taken in Canada found that people were divided 50-50 about Jenna.